This is Lee with 82 Game and 12, and I'm starting another series of videos, and this will have to do with the Great Battles of Julius Caesar. The Deluxe edition came out in 2022. Game designed by, let me just slide in there a little closer, Mark Herman, Richard Berg. And this deluxe edition was developed by Alan Ray, if I understand. So the original design was Mark Herman and Richard Berg. So GMT Games. One thing I discovered was I had a hard time finding videos over playthroughs of these of some of these battles. There's a couple of videos that are out there, but not very many. And I didn't find one, at least, I'm talking about from the deluxe edition. I'm not talking about from the older original. So those are out there, okay, a few, there's some out there, but they don't go, move by move, like I like to do. And in order to really understand what's going on and to get a grasp of whether or not this is something that you may like, you need some videos of someone just saying, hey, I'm going to play this through and I'm going to record every movement at all the combat. And there may be people out there that, they just want to see, key elements, but, that's not what I do. I do the play-by-play videos, which tend to be long and take quite a few sessions to do, but I'm going to play one of the more important battles of the Roman Civil War. And this one took place 48 BC. Now this game, in the rules and so forth, they're using the BCE, before Common Era. I don't like that. I'm old school and don't like the fact that they tend to try to take Christ out of things. So I'm not gonna regard that as BCE, but BC. And so this is the Battle of Pharsalus. Took place in Thessaly. And it's two maps. You got the partial south map, and you can probably see where it cuts through. Okay. And one thing is the numbers don't match up here. If you notice, it says, what is that, 1343 and then 1300. And I don't know what's going on there. There's probably some kind of errata about that. But so that's what we're going to have. We're going to have Pompey's army against Caesar's, Julius Caesar. So we're going to talk more about the forces before we get started. See if I can try to get that glare, where that glare is coming from. I guess it's coming from this other, no, it's not coming from that one. Where it's coming from. I can't move that there. Gotta move. Maybe I've got to move that somewhere else. Okay, we'll just make it work. So before I get started, I talked about the game, but I wanted to jump into the sponsors And one of these is a sponsor that I've used before many times, and that's going to be the Murtu jewelry. Specialize in men's jewelry. They also have women's jewelry, but men's jewelry, bracelets. They've got other types of jewelry, but this is what I wear. I don't wear a watch, so that kind of takes the place of that missing feeling of having a watch. I grew up with, excuse me, where you wore a watch. Well, you don't need a watch now with a phone when you have a phone. Excuse me, when you have a phone. So check out Murtu at murtu.com. They've got various styles, and I guarantee you'll find something that catches your eye, and very reasonable priced. Quality products. I've had mine for several quite a few years. You can look back at some of my earlier videos and probably find me pitching this Murtu. So check them out. Next we have this is a dice company, and let me pull in here tighter so you can see. Okay, it's Serious Dice. Okay, you can see it right there. And their website is www.seriousdice.com, Brooklyn, New York. So I'll put that in the link there. I don't know if they have a YouTube channel or not, but if they do, I'll put that in there. And I got this for $9. And trying to think, I think this was at, where did I get these? I think I must have got these, I can't even remember now where I picked them up at. Wow, I do not remember. I pick up a lot of dice. You've seen me, plug dice for many different companies, ChessX and so forth. So that just gives you these here. They didn't even really tell you what the color is. It's got the SKU number here, but it's kind of like a smoky charcoal look to it. I really like that. Plus, you do get the one 20-sided white dice in here, but you've got all the dice. Plus, you get just the charcoal colored 20-side there too. So you actually get two 20-sided dice with this collection. So check them out. Serious Dice is very reasonable quality dice. So check them out. Put that right there. Got a few books that I'll be throwing in occasionally. We've got Caesar's The Civil War. This was an older copy from Penguin Classics. We'll talk about that as we go along. We've got Roman Legionnaires, Soldiers of the Empire by Simon Elliott. And let's see, I guess Casemate, Short History. Might be the publisher on that. I'll have to check that out. But both books deal with Pharsalus, and I've got quite a few books on the Romans. So I'll be bringing those out at different times to maybe pitch some different books at you. Maybe you want to read up on the Romans. And check them out. So Osprey has a lot of good Roman books. Trying to see, I've got this book here. I was trying to find the author. Osprey Publishing is just another. but I'm not finding whether it be the editor or the author. But oh well. Okay, so got that taken care of. We want to look at the forces here. Over here, we've got some units that Pompey placed to guard the camp, Pompey's camp. You got 3 cohorts, and basically I just took one from the right wing, one cohort from each legion from the right wing to do that, and and then there was I believe 4 more. Yeah, 4 more that were removed, cohorts that were removed as the rules. So I'll talk about that. We'll talk about the terrain and also the makeup of the army, and special rules and so forth. So let's get started here. I'm going over to the scenario booklet. There's a ton of scenarios in this scenario booklet. Now, dealing with difficulty and balance, it says that if you play just the straight up regular system battle, then it slightly favors Pompey. And if you go with the Deluxe version, then it kind of evens out. So, and let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, it says that Pompey used 7 cohorts for camp duties. So the Pompeian player must remove 1 cohort from the 3rd line, one cohort each from the 3rd line. These cohorts in hex row 21XX of any 7 legions. So 3 of them have to be in the camp, remaining 4 out of play. The cohorts in the camp cannot be moved outside the camp for any reason, and they don't count against route point totals. So we are using the section commanders in this battle for both armies. There will be no legates. So we've got tribunes, and then the section commanders and the overall commander. And we're not playing the Deluxe version, so I'm not going to talk about that. Okay, so dealing with, when we take a look at Pompey, okay, I'll pull back here a little bit. We go over here to the left wing, okay. Okay, so we've got all these cavalry units here, okay. Pompey did have an advantage in cavalry numbers. Well, if you can see, there's a great advantage here. Caesar only has 3 cavalry units, okay? These 3 here under a prefect. Now, Labienus is the cavalry prefect in this battle, and So he's got control of all of these cavalry units here, 3 lines of cavalry. Plus, he also has control over the skirmishers, okay, that are stationed behind the cavalry. So in the battle, Pompey wants to use these cavalry to basically smash through Caesar's cavalry and try to envelop the Caesar's right flank and come in behind and harass the legions from the rear and cause issues. So Labienus is not able to command cavalry and skirmishers at the same time. Okay, so he's got to decide who when he activates, he's got to decide who he's gonna actually command. All right. Go ahead and talk about Caesar Julius Caesar while we're here. The cavalry and skirmishers for Caesar here on the right flank have a prearranged withdrawal. Now, normally in the rules, okay, only cohorts can do that. But this is an exception, specifically for this battle because of the historical aspect. So, a prearranged withdrawal on both the cavalry and the skirmishers, which are to withdraw back and behind these cohorts that are waiting to surprise. And so that's going to cause some special rules that we're going to discuss when Pompey's cavalry encounter these cohorts. So let me see here. Okay, so this is under the special rules. Pompey's left cavalry wing and Caesar's refused fourth line. That's what this line is here, going here. Okay, they're faced to the north. Okay, is where they're facing. So basically, what it is you've got a cohort from each of the legions taken from the rear line and placed over there. This was what Caesar did during the historical battle when both armies were lining up. Caesar recognized that Pompey had put all of his cavalry, well, pretty much all of it, except for 2 units, on his left flank. And Caesar was worried that this cavalry was going to overrun his cavalry and get in behind him. So he developed this idea of taking cohorts and moving them over there and creating this line of shields and pilas and swords to challenge these cavalry units. So I've got some good pictures. I got a good picture. It's a drawing of cavalry units. So you kind of get an idea of that. It gives you a better idea of, of course, they didn't have stirrups. Okay? They had that Roman saddle that it was like a X, I guess. But anyways, I'll show that later. So let's talk about this cavalry wing and the refused fourth line for Caesar. So now, it says the rules are a bit artificial, and you're free to ignore them, totally or individually, okay? But they do not totally hamstring Pompey. They do place much of the onus on Labienus, who may have been a mite overconfident, okay? And for game purposes, we have assumed that the advantage of the fourth line is in surprise. Okay, so what happens over here? Okay, so first off, you reduce Labienus's command range to 4 hexes until the surprise comes into effect. So Labienus right now has his command range is a 5. So basically it's just reducing by 1 hex. So the game turn following surprise, he returns to his original range. So, and if you want to stay as historically as possible, then the cavalry must stay within his command range until surprise takes effect. So they're not able to just run, all over the place. So until surprise is triggered, Labienus may not issue individual orders. He may only issue line commands, and the light cavalry must be undertaken. Oh, the line command, I'm sorry. The line command must be undertaken by all cavalry within his range. Now, I'm not sure I quite understand that, but I'm thinking that when he orders this line command, then all 3 lines of cavalry have to move together. And this shows how Labienus did not leave any reserve. He just ordered all of the cavalry to attack, basically to charge at one time. So there was no first line attack and then wait to see what happens. He was so confident that he just rushed forward with all of his cavalry instead of holding some back, in case something didn't go as planned. So that's what that's for. Labienus is free to issue individual orders the game turn after surprise. So once the surprise happens, then he's free to have his full command range and issue individual orders. Now, what is surprise? Surprise, the first time any single unit that is part of a line of Pompeian cavalry has a line of sight of 2 or fewer hexes to any cohort in the Caesarian 4th line, all units in that cavalry line undergo a special TQ check. It's like a pre-shot TQ check. So all units in that cavalry line. So just the ones that within that line. So it's not going to be all 3 lines. It's just be the front line, I guess, if that's the line that sees the cohort. So if you want to do the historical outcome version, apply a +3 die roll modifier to the TQ check. If you think that is a little bit too much of a burden, then you can just use the normal pre-shot die roll. Now this is a one-time effect. Cavalry units that suffer any cohesion hits must stop or remain in place. All others may continue to move. It says if any of Labienus's cavalry routes, all cavalry units adjacent to that unit undergo an instant TQ check. Treat as a pre-shot check, except that a die roll of 9 automatically routes that cavalry unit. This is a cascading effect. A route always produces an instant TQ check for all adjacent cavalry units. Route cascade occurs only during the orders phase in which the surprise occurs, but the player rolls each time a unit is routed by the surprise. The sequence of determining the effects of surprise is finish all surprise checks, find routes, check for cascade. In the game turn of surprise, the Pompeian cavalry units that make the surprise check may not use orderly withdrawal. Now, it also says the surprise applies only if no cohort of the 4th line is moved. it says, additionally, fourth line units do not automatically become missile no if they engage only cavalry units in shock combat, allowing them to remain, let's see, DS, oh, yeah, defensive superior to cavalry. However, using their Pele for missile fire does render them missile no. So that's the main big thing there. Um, so that's that. um, that's a pretty big part of the battle over there. So, and we're just going to play it historically. So we're going to apply the +3. Retreat directions. The Caesarians retreat towards the east edge. Which is going to be the top of the map up there. And of course, the Pompeians are going to retreat to the west end, which is going to be down here. Oops, down here. So, okay, so the Pompeian army withdraws when units totaling 210 route points have been eliminated. The Caesarian army withdraws when units totaling 230 have been eliminated. So, there that is. Something else that I have to bring up has to do with Caesar's legions. They are depleted. While Pompey's is not, one big difference is Caesar has veterans and let's see, veterans. And he's got one legion that is not depleted, and that's the 8th. The 8th basically is 2 legions combined together. But Caesar has so many more veterans than Pompey. Most of Pompey's are recruits, and the what's the other one's called? Guess I'll have to go over here to the rule book. So I can see what it is. Well, I've drawn a blank. I know what's in here. The difference in has to do with the training and so forth. Wow. And I can't, I'm looking for it, I can't find it. Well, there's 3 types of cohorts. And I'm trying to think what the CON stands for. Conscripts, maybe? Yeah, I think it's conscripts. So you got 3 levels. You got veteran, conscripts, and then the recruits. The recruits are limited in some of the things that they can do. So, all right, so we're going to have tribunes, section leaders, and overall commanders. And Julius Caesar is the only overall commander that has the special ability. So he has the ability to go first, or basically choose someone in his army to go first during a turn. Let's see there. Let's talk about the terrain here. There's a couple of notes here about that. Let's see here. Where? Of course, you've got the river to the southwest. That it had steep banks, so that's what is going to keep units from being able to. All right, here we go. No, it doesn't say here. Should be something here about that. Let's take a look at the terrain. The terrain chart. Okay, we don't have anything special dealing with that, but okay, so here, over here, we've got this river. And I'm not for sure what type of river they're saying it is. Just looking in the information here. Okay, so the Eponias River, virtually all horse under command of Caesar's ex-lieutenant Labienus. Okay. So it was barely fordable, the Eponias River. But I was looking for comments about the river, but it does not say. Doesn't say if it's just a river, a minor river, a major river, what it is. And the stream is not going to have any effect unless it's the cohorts. They get a cohesion hit if they're going over this stream that's on the left, on my left. So we just won't be crossing this river over here. So, all right, now I wish I could get rid of this glow or this, I don't know what's going on over there. I don't think that had anything to do with it. Let's see. I don't think this has anything to do with it. See what that does. I don't think that's going to do anything. This is already pulled out. Why did that pull out? Okay. I don't really think that changed anything. Where this glare is coming from, but just have to try to get around it. So, all right, let's go ahead and start. I think we covered everything. We'll talk about things, I guess, some things as we go along. If you can tell that they're right on top of each other, okay. And what happened historically, according to information we have, Caesar ordered his men to move forward, expecting Pompey's men to move forward, but that didn't happen. So his veterans realized what was happening, and they stopped instead of continuing to move forward and get tired. And that's what Pompey's forces were hoping, that Caesar's cohorts would continue to move forward and get tired before they got to him. Plus, they could stand there and would be able to throw their pillars with more accuracy, standing still, although they wouldn't have the momentum in their favor. And they felt like they would be able to hold when the clash occurred. So Caesar's veterans realized that, and so they stopped. So that, I don't know if that's at what point we're here or what, but they're only 2 hexes apart. So, that's what we've got. Of course, Pompey wanted to have his cavalry strike early and cause havoc behind Caesar's lines. So, but Caesar does have the option of, allowing himself to start the battle with an order, or giving that to someone else. Let me check that. He is the only leader with special ability. I don't think it's going to really make note of that, but he is. So, elite initiative orders phase. That might actually be after the auxiliaries phase. So they can use their overall commanders or other eligible leaders to activate their skirmishers or other eligible units. But I don't think that's going to include cavalry. So that's something that I don't know. I guess I haven't played. Well, of course, I didn't have the original Julius Caesar Civil War or any of the um, games dealing with Julius Caesar. So a lot of this is new to me regarding some of the different commands and so forth. But so looking for that elite commander. Okay, it's only it occurs after the auxiliary phase. So it can be undertaken by either Caesar or any other friendly leader, regardless of initiative rating or location on the map, as designated by that player. Okay, they don't get to use momentum. And that leader is not finished. It just reverts to inactive. But one of their 3 available orders phases are gone. So okay. Okay, a unit ordered in this phase cannot participate in a line command later in the game turn. Says in the auxiliary phase, the player may issue individual orders to every friendly skirmisher. He may issue a move or fire order to a unit in any location. Okay, to issue a recovery or rally order, the unit must be in command range, but not if he's going to move or fire. Okay, so that's kind of like just kind of, I don't know. Well, Caesar doesn't want to activate those guys because he wants them to do an orderly withdrawal. But I don't think those skirmishers are going to be able to do an orderly withdrawal. I think they're going to get overrun. Unless, let's see, they do the prearranged. So I guess they're able to retreat. Okay. Um, so that's going to be skirmishers. We don't have any skirmishers anywhere but over here. So, and these skirmishers there, they want to follow up behind the cavalry. They don't want to get in the way of the cavalry. So we won't have an auxiliary phase. Oh, neither side wants to move their auxiliary forces. So we immediately go to Caesar, who has the ability to have either himself or someone else basically anywhere on the battlefield. So it can be this elite initiative order may be undertaken by either Caesar or any other friendly leader, regardless of initiative rating or location on the map. Okay, they can't use momentum. And after the EIO phase is completed, the chosen leader reverts to inactive but not finished. He has undergone only one order phase and may be activated again using normal activation rules. Moreover, activating a tribune in the elite phase does not restrict his section commander, nor does activating a section commander in the elite order phase restrict the overall commander. So, we could activate one of the section commanders. So Caesar has the option of possibly doing something here. What do we want to use that elite command? I think we do. We want to use that elite initiative phase, but I don't think we want to use it on the Caesarian right. I think we want to use it over here on the left. And I think we're going to use it with this tribune here with the 8th Legion, which is the Legion that is at full strength. So we're going to activate this tribune here, who is going to activate the cohort, the Legion. So all of the cohorts, they're all within range. They've got a movement of 5. So just want to see here. Some veterans against veterans here. I'm just thinking here. Okay, so a little hesitation there. I'm just thinking things out here. But yes, Caesar decides that he is going to have the 8th Legion advance and try to do something over here, way over here on the far left flank. They've got these 2 cavalry units that are here, and they've got to block them with some units. I'm thinking about using this unit here to block. So it's going to go 1, 2 right there. This unit here. It's actually going to join the fray here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's see here. I think we do. Let's see the reaction fire. Let's see. May go a little slow here in the first couple turns for me to remember how all of this goes. So yeah. But
I measured her on the cutting board.
Yeah.
And she was 15 and a half.
Oh.
She got some big old fillets.
Yeah. Let's see here. Missile fire. I was looking. Oh, here it is. So I'm looking at reaction fire. It's page 26, 8.2. So this is enemy movement into and out of their Zocs, which are in their front hexes, and against enemy units that use missile fire against them. Okay, doesn't apply to artillery units. Okay. So entry reaction, whenever a friendly unit enters a Zoc of an enemy missile unit, and this includes entry because of advanced after combat, that enemy missile unit may fire at the entering unit before any further movement or friendly fire occurs. Okay, exception. When friendly units are moving as a result of a legion or line command, all movement is completed before any entry fire takes place. And all entry fire takes place before any fire by any of the moved units. A reacting unit may fire at only one unit. So, okay. All right, so then that means we're moving the entire legion because the legion is moving. It's a legion move. Okay, so a movement of 5. So 1, 2, we go here. We go 1, 2 here. This unit goes 1, 2 here. Okay. This unit here, 1, 2, 3, is guarding his flank. This unit here is going to go 1, 2, 3. I guess I should have stacked them. Or got ready to stack them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll go that. All right, so now we're going to have reaction fire. So and let's see here. Let's see where's that at. It's right there. And of course, we're going to have TQ checks that all of those units are going to have to make. Basically, I'll just put them like that instead of on each one. So this knows I'm going all the way across with that. So, all right. All right, to get a hit, they need a 6. Okay. And instead of rolling all these separate, I've probably got enough dice here. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got those two. So I can just go with that and that. That's an 8-sided. That was a 10-sided. This is a 10-sided. All right. Okay. So, here we go. This is the missile fire. Got to have a 6. Was it 6 or more? Oh, no. The modified missile die roll is the same or lower than the indicated number at that range. The target unit receives 1 cohesion hit, 2 if an elephant, or a non-Briton chariot unit. Okay, it says if a hit occurs, oh, okay, that's only on ballistae. All right, so what we have here is we've got a, I could put them out here. I'm not going to do this every time. Oops. All right, so we got a 2, 9, 3, and a 6. So that means the 2, 3, and the 6 get hits. Okay. So and then of course those guys, the Galatian units there are all missile no. So we get the missile nose out here. Over there. And we put these missile nose underneath them. Oops. All right. And then the 8th Legion, the attackers, they fire. Now, and I did have, okay, well, I don't have to worry about the missile no, missile low business. Let's see. Now, because they're considered javelin, there is no modification for movement. So, and we'll just return and fire. And we didn't do so well. This is what we've got. We've got, actually, that's, I think we started with a green, so, okay. So we got one hit, and then the rest of these are 9s, 9s, and an 8. So, one hit on this unit here. This unit took a hit. So he took a hit. The rest of them are misses, and these guys are all missile no. All right, so that's that portion. Now we have our shock must check TQ. I guess the level of those cohorts are veteran, recruits, and then whatever the third type is. I guess the third type is the weakest, the CON. Conscripts, maybe, would be the weakest. I think I said that the recruits would be the weakest. So, not so. All right, so now we're going to have to do the shock DQ check. So, and let's do that. Again, I'm just going to roll. We don't have any leaders to worry about. So we've got the charge, which is the pre-shock TQ check. So okay, so that's simultaneously. All right, so we're just going to roll. We'll roll the defenders first, and then go from there. So, all right. It's easier to do that. Okay. So, all right, so the first one. Pretty sure this is the way I'm doing it. All right, so we take a look here. This is the pre-shock. So this unit here has a cohesion of actually a 5 because he's taken a loss. So he's still okay though. He passed. He's got a 7, so he passed. This one here has a 6. That's 2 over. So he has to take 2 cohesion hits. So, and this one rolled a 2, so he's safe. All right, so now let's roll the other side. And several of them have taken hits already. So, the first one there has a 2. We rolled a 2, 3, a 7, and the last one. And I believe in this, you've got A 0 is treated as a 0. It's not a 10. So, all right. So I think, okay, of course, this unit has a, let's put that up underneath him. He's actually got a 6 right now. He passed. This one here with a 7, he's going to pass because he had an 8. -1 is still a 7. And of course, this one passed. So, all right. So that's all of that. So we've already done the shock part, so we can remove that. All right, so next, we don't have any leaders. We have the clash of swords. Determines superiority and shock column, and the shock column, and then you resolve the shock. So, all right, so we take a look. Okay, it's all going to be on the front. There's no flank or rear attacks here. Okay, and we've got, okay, we got to look at the different cohorts. So we've got veterans all the way across against veterans. Okay, so it's veteran against veteran. So there's going to be no shock superiority. It's all going to be on the 7 column. So all on the 7. So we're going to roll all of these together and take a look at the results. All right. All right. So on the shock combat results chart, I was to pull this back, and we're looking at this right here, okay, what we're looking at. All right, we already looked at the superiority chart up at the top, which I can show that to you right there. It's veteran against veteran, so it's just a dash, no effect. We look on the other side here, Clash of Swords chart, veteran versus veteran is a 7, okay? So the first one we've got a 0, okay? So if we look across here, 0 on the 7 is 3 with 2 in parentheses, okay? The first number is going to apply to the attacker, the number of cohesion hits. The second applies to the defender, in parentheses. So we've got a 0 and a 5. What's the 5 going to do? 5 is going to be 2 and 2. We've got a 7 and then a 9. A 7 is going to be 2 and 3, and the 9 is going to be 2 and 4. So the first one is going to be a 3 and a 2. So all right, so this unit here has to take 3. Well, he's already at 1, so now he's going to 4. This one here, and of course they are missile, no, so are the other ones. So he was at 1. He gets 2, so he's at now 3. I've got to change these guys, all these 3 these 4 to missile no as well. Oops. Probably run out of those pretty fast. I'm not going to worry too much about putting that on there. I guess I need to. But, you know, we're going to run out of these missile no's. And I'm going to know that they're going to be missile no because they're already there next to each other. So, I don't know. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to put that on there. Usually when I'm doing the great battles, I don't really mess with that with the phalanxes. I mean, not the phalanxes, but like some of the javelin throwers when they're adjacent and in combat. So I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so that takes care of this one here. Now between these two, we got a 5, which is both of them are going to get 2. So don't need that one there. And this one here now has 2 hits. All right, now this is a 7, so that's going to be, this one takes 3 hits. This one takes 2. So that one is actually going to be at a 3. Take this. Oops. One thing about that's one reason I really don't like having all these missile no's here. Probably helps with for people that are watching to see all of that, but it kind of gets cluttered. Okay, so this guy was at 2, so he's at 4. Especially these small counters. All right, down here, we're going to have, with the 9, 2 on the attacker, 4 on the defender. So we'll get rid of those. So he's taking 4 now. This one here, he's going to be at 3. All right. I guess one thing is I could put these like missile nose here like this. Just as a reminder that, hey, they're missile nose. All right, so that was the start. And that was the elite commander phase, which means when that's used, that means Julius Caesar has one less possible activation. So I'm not sure where that where that's at. I don't know where the counter is for that. He's not really restricted. I know there's a counter in here, but he's not restricted. But I don't know where it's at. I may have to just have to put something on there as a reminder. Because I know it's in here, but I think there may only be one. And I can't find it. I think I'll just put this grapple under. I'll just put this grapple counter underneath Caesar, just to let me know that or it may go under the Tribune. Let's see who it goes under. The chosen leader reversed inactive but not finished. He has undergone only one order phase for purposes of okay, maybe activate. Okay, so it doesn't interfere with Caesar. It's the Tribune down here. So, all right. I wouldn't be ouch. All right. Drop my tweezers and a counter. Um, so let's take a look here. What we got? So we got a clash there going on. Now we pull back and we come across here and we take a look down here. Now Pompey is wanting to get his cavalry involved, but in order for that, he's going to have to either try to go for momentum or not momentum, but try to trump, or, as I said, bypass, which makes sense to just pass with the tribunes because you want to get to your section leaders, section commanders, and let them actually activate 2 of your legions at once. That's the whole purpose of the section commanders with tribunes. So that's something both sides would really look to do. You know, even though Mark Antony over here, this tribune in the 8th is already out of command range. Probably should have moved him over to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he would have been in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there. That's what I should have done. He should have been moved over here. But oh well. Don't have that option now. So what do we want to do here? Just trying to figure out the best way to use these. Let's take a look here. All right, so if you activate, okay, or give a legion command or an individual order using the Tribune, it restricts the section commander. So you want to bypass those. Okay, you can do individual orders. But that's not going to give very many orders. For a Tribune, it's only going to be 2. You can pass. So you don't. So all of them are going to pass. So you basically have the Tribunes are all passing, except for this Tribune that's down here on the bottom. On the bottom, well, on the left, the one that did the elite. So up and down the line, both sides are wanting to maintain the abilities of their section commanders. They don't want to restrict them. Okay. So they don't want to do a Legion command because that'll restrict the section commander. Okay. Tribunes cannot trump. Don't want to really be finished. So it's just going to be a little slow going. I'm trying to get reacquainted with this Great Battles of History. I've played the Alexander, used to play that a lot, and the SPQR, but it's been a while. And the command rules and all of that is just specifically all of that's new to me. And the legions and so forth. All right, so dealing with the tribunes. Okay. Let's see, we'll count how many we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I guess 11. So they've got 11 over here. Is that right? 11? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, 11. So some of these would have to be activated individually, because some of these section commanders have more than 2 legions. And okay. Well, this says direct all tribunes. So I guess they could activate 3. All right, so that okay, so then they would want to maintain, they don't want to actually activate tribunes, Pompey's side. So they're passing on each of their tribunes. So if we look over here on Caesar's side, the one tribune that wants to activate is going to be this one right here. Okay. Something that I find kind of funny. Okay, it's kind of not related, but if you take a look at this, this looks like a gnome, and it looks like this Roman soldier is tickling his beard, or maybe he's pulling on it. I don't know. I don't know if that was the sculptor's idea of a joke, put that up there and then later said, hey, buddy, take a look at this. See what I did? it's just kind of interesting. It's like I'm gonna put this gnome up here, and I'm gonna have this soldier yanking on his beard. But anyways, let's see here. I wanted to check this about the cohorts, the Roman cohorts, and their special abilities. So it talks about the line extension. And also the stacking. Don't know where that. Oh, there it is. All right. So what we want to do here is this down here. We're activating this tribune, okay? So he's got basically two orders that he can give. And he wants to give them to, see, that one's at 4. Let's move these out of the way. These missile, no fires. Let's see here. Now it's got 3. It's got 3. All right, so what he wants to do is he wants to move this unit here in with this unit. Okay. No reaction fire, and there's no shot. Must check TQ, because he's just coming in and joining. Some cohorts can do. What that does is it allows both units to be counted toward the size, which is going to give them an advantage in the close combat. So, and plus it allows this other unit to absorb some of the damage or cohesion hits during the combat that's going to take place. So, all right, so he moves into there, and down here, let's have this one here move in with this one. All right, so, and I didn't really talk about the size because all of them size was 5. Okay, for all the units that were involved in the close combat during that elite initiative phase. So now this unit that moved in there is now going to end up being missile. No, it can't use his missiles. So that was his 2 moves. He's going to end up being finished, and I can remove this as a reminder. I've got to find. I know there's an elite marker for when you use that elite. So he's going to be finished. I'll go ahead and put that there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and have the combat. So we're going here, 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 and here. He has a range of 4, so all of these units are within his range. And I could have moved this unit over here, but I didn't. I wanted to move these other units in. So I guess I'll put that missile no fire right there just as a reminder. All right, so we need to roll here for the combat. But this one here, and this one here, both will have a slot modification, because now you get to count the size. So they have a 10. The size is now 10 to 5. So that's 2 to 1 in size. So that's going to give a modification during the close combat on the roll. And let's see what the advantage is. Okay, so you shift a number of columns right or left based on the ratio of the size. Oh. Okay. I've also got to remember to do a column shift for attacking unit is depleted, or if the defending unit is depleted. So because the size is 2 to 1, it's going to be a shift to the right for the shot combat. So as we already discovered, there's no shock superiority. Clash of Swords is going to be veteran versus veteran is going to be on a 7. So that's where we're at. So for slide in here. For this one and this one, it's going to be actually on an 8 because those both have a 2-to-1 advantage in size. So combat here, combat here. So let's roll the dice and see what happens. All right, so we'll put our dice up here. Not very good rolls for the attacker. All right, so the green dice was a 5. So with that, because it's a 2-to-1 size, it's on the 8 column, and we rolled a 5, that didn't change anything. That's going to be 2-to-2. Now, the big difference here is going to be that the defender has to take both losses, which puts him at 5. He takes two losses, cohesion hits, so he's at 5, which means he's going to have to roll for collapse. Okay, here, since there's 2 units here, they both just take 1. So, wow. That's why it's beneficial to have your cohorts stacked. All right, so, okay, we got that. This one here is just straight up 7, and it's a 1, which is not good. That's 3 hits to the attacker. So now he's at 5. Defender takes 2 hits. Get that out of the way. Get those. I know they're missile now. So he's at 4 now. All right, then here we got 5. And again, this is going to be on the 8 column, and 5 is just going to be 2 and 2. So that unit is going to be at 4. The bottom one is going to be at 1. And then this unit has to take 2. So he's going to be at 6, which is going to put him over. Oops. I'll put that on top so I'll know. And then down here we've got 1 on the 7 column. It's going to be 3. So he's going to be at 6. So he's going to have to roll for collapse. And this guy here takes 2. So he's at 6. All right, so first off, we've got one that's routing. so uh, okay. So let's go back here. All right, so right here, this unit here is routing. So you can actually route right this way. He's moving 2, so he can go there to there. We just remove that. All right, so this unit actually can't advance because he's in the zoc of another unit. So let's move over here to see. Okay, so this unit here is 1 shy of routing. So we've got the collapse. This one here is not. He's 2. This one here is 1. So he'd have to roll. So okay. All right, so with the collapse check, die roll greater than the TQ unit routes. So let me check something here. I'm gonna be sure I'm doing this right. Um, okay, so when you're rolling for your TQ, you're not actually rolling what your TQ actually is at the moment, but actually still rolling what your TQ factor is. So if that makes sense. All right, so this unit here is at 5, 1 less. So it's got to roll 6 or less. No, it rolled a 7. So it routes. And you can actually move to here during its route. Okay, and these guys would advance. Like that. This guy's good. This guy's got to roll for his. So we're rolling for this one. He's got 5 cohesion hits. Rolled a 5, so he's okay. Plus he gets 1 reduced. This guy's still okay. There's nobody here that's in danger. This guy here is 1 less, and so is this guy. So they both, I guess they both have to roll. Both of them. And they both pass. So there we are. And of course we're not going to try to get momentum out of that. So Pompey's got 2 cohorts that are routing. And we will now move to the section leaders with initiative of 3. And that's going to be the cavalry prefect Piso and section commander Lentulus. Lentulus. And for Caesar, it would be the prefect cavalry. So, All right, but I'm going to stop right there. Let's see who these people are. So you've got the Piso is right here. Piso is right here. They would look maybe try to do something here on this wing. Maybe try to double up on this cohort over there. And then Julius is right here. And he, of course, would like to activate his cohorts, or his 3 legions, in trying to do something against Mark Antony, who's opposite of him. And then if we move down, Mark Antony's a 5, so he's going to be going later unless he tries to trump and silence Lentulus. And if we come across here, Afranius is right here. He's a 4. Scipio is a 4. Enobarabbas. Enobarabbas. It's hard to pronounce his name. He's a 5. And then Pompey's a 6. So, okay, over here on this far right Caesarean line, the prefect cavalry is not going to want to do anything. So he'll probably pass because he's got that prearranged withdrawal. And he wants to just get away from all these cavalry units. So that's where we're going to pick up. We're going to pick up with some of these section leaders, that or the cavalry prefects doing something. So Labienus, who was on Caesar's staff, is in charge of the cavalry, and he's got a 4. So some of these other guys are going to have an opportunity to go before he does, unless he tries to trump. I don't think he wants to do that. He wants to be able to go. So we're going to stop right here, pick up with the continued battle of Pharsalus from the Great Battles of Julius Caesar, the Deluxe edition from GMT Games. Come back and see what happens. Get a feel for how the game plays. And you can make a decision on, if you don't have this, that may be something that you want to pick up, or if you do have it, you want to get it off your shelf and get it on a table and start doing something with it. There's a lot of really good battles in here, in this deluxe edition. So, see you next time.